ABC, FlipSideCT, Steve here. Thanks for joining me. In case you didn't see my last episode, number 42, I think, it was the WFMU show and the finds that I got there. So if you want to check that out, go right ahead. So as I mentioned in prior videos, I was going to Minneapolis, and I did go about 2 weeks ago. And I did get to 4 record stores, 2 on a Wednesday, 2 on a Friday. First 2 I went to, I went on bicycle through the neighborhoods to get there. That's where they mostly were. And the first 2 I was just like, I couldn't believe what I was looking at. Not really good vinyl at all, used vinyl at all. Mostly retro type paraphernalia. New records, CDs of course, but nothing focused on used vinyl. It was the first one in. The second one was a huge store. And I asked him, okay man, where's the used vinyl? He goes, oh, it's in the back left section over there. And I said, oh no. And so it was just a couple aisles, just totally sort of like a little better than Goodwill. But maybe it was timing, I don't know. But I didn't spend much time in there. I walked out of there pretty disappointed. Friday with the 2 stores that I did go was made up for it. I do an interview with one of the workers there. It has some cool history, and the other one was really neat. So I'm going to show you that. Before that, I just quickly want to talk about Minneapolis as far as history goes, because I think it's pretty cool information based on what I absorbed real quick. So if you don't want to hear this, just go to the time there below and you'll bypass this. So Minneapolis, it was about 155 years old. They were part of the Louisiana Purchase. During the Civil War, they were, well, let me take a step back. It's the Scandinavians that came over and founded this, going through the St. Lawrence, and of course Minnesota Vikings, the indigenous group that was part of it. But other cultures came in there too. But what they really found was the sawmill type industry, and it was a peak place there, one of the best and state of the art in the whole world supposedly. But during the Civil War, the Dakota Sioux Indians actually attacked the Young Bucks Indians. Did attack and caused some ruckus over there. So Minnesota wasn't in the Union, so they weren't fighting in the Civil War, so they were taking care of this. Some cool books on that story. But what really made them prosper was the next phase, which was the grain that was from all over the other states would be shipped up to Minneapolis for the mills, and they created flour. So the biggest source of power was the Mississippi River, and they utilized one certain area for generating power and the turbines to get everything moving. Mills were just popping up. Pillsbury was there, and there were some other names there, General Mills eventually, Gold Medal. Really the hub and center. It was such great Americana history. I really get excited when I think about it and what I witnessed. I did go to a museum there, and it was really cool. Really great contribution to our country. U.S., I should say. And about 50 years, it really prospered. The companies battled back and forth, but they were built on the river, and eventually General Mills bought them all out, and they're all under one umbrella. But just some great things. Then the Depression came along and blew everything out of the water. So, but they still did the mills, and it was still operating. I think up till, I don't know, I'm not going to quote that. They were still operating until pretty recent. So that was the cool history. They did have a cool, I think it was in St. Paul or area, where they did have, a 60s folk, sort of Greenwich Village type atmosphere. Of course, Dylan was from there, Minnesota. So there was a good culture of music at that point there. And a lot of things snowballed, of course, and that's why Minneapolis has a lot of contributions to rock and roll and music. So without any further ado, I want you to check out the tour. All right, enjoy.
Okay.
Here we are at Treehouse, and you are?
My name is Dan Cody.
Dan. Yeah. Say hi to the VC.
Hi, VC. How are you?
Okay. So what were you going to say?
Well, our store, Treehouse Records, right now, since 2001. Prior to that, it was a store called Orfolk Jokopus. Orfolk started in the early 70s, ran until March 31st, 2001, and was, the mid to late 70s, sort of the epicenter of the Twin Cities punk rock scene when that was first starting up. We get a lot of people coming in here when they're doing their replacements tour of Minneapolis, because this is kind of where the replacements were discovered. As legend has it, when Peter Jesperson was managing the store and also running Twin Tone Records and booking shows at the Longhorn Bar, the legend has it that teenage Paul Westerberg kept coming in, dropped off a demo tape, kept coming in to harass Peter because he was just trying to get a show. Peter finally listened to the tape, was just absolutely blown away, called him up, and offered him a record deal on the spot.
Just a local kid.
Right. And so after that, Peter became the band's manager, eventually became Tommy Stinson's legal guardian so that the band could tour while Tommy was still 12, 15 years old.
Huh.
And this was the place, before any of us who are working today were around, really, where they would always be hanging out. There are stories of drunk Westerberg stumbling from across the CC club across the street and like breaking this Orfolk's stock of replacements records, just like snapping them in half because he thought it would be funny. Bob Stinson would just come hang out like right in the window here all the time, just sit here for hours, just hanging out, drinking a pop, listening to music, and talking shop with the clerks. So yeah, there's a lots of history. We're right across the street from the CC Club, which inspired Here Comes a Regular, among several other classic replacements tunes. So this, and the basement was where the original hand-stamped covers of Stink were stamped. So there's a lot of history with us and the replacements and the Suicide Commandos and Husker Du and all of those bands.
So is this? There's been a lot of changes physically here to the environment. No,
not a ton. There was a fire in 1985, and so the store was shut down for. I actually think the fire was in late '84, and the store was shut down for almost a year until reopening in '85. So I believe that most of the posters on the wall have newly been added since then, but many of them have remained up on the wall in the same place ever since then, which is going on 30 years now, with a few new ones added here and there. But for the most part, I think the interior is the same. I mean, I wasn't around back then when the fire happened, but I know that the cash register, there used to be an office in the back corner there with open space. I think the cash register used to be against the wall over there, at least in pictures that I've seen. Pictures from like the Ramones in store and the Talking Heads in store.
Oh, they came in here?
Yeah,
that's all right. There you go.
But for the most part, things have stayed the same. We still have the same just grotesque brown wrinkly carpeting, and you can see the layers of floor from over the years with various tiles just laid on top of each other. It's quite homely, but it's
no, this is it.
But there's a lot of history.
I'm so glad you guys kept and stayed with it, and the new ones can come, but the old ones have the flavor. It's.
Says buy me on. Not bad advice. Yeah. You need a diamond?
All right, hopefully you found that interesting. I sure did. I had a blast. Thank goodness for those two last stores. So I'm going to show you my finds. I rented the bike, and that was probably a great way for me to get around. There's so little time here. I'm trying to condense everything. I don't usually talk this fast. I'm more laid back, soft-spoken. I guess this is my DJ voice here, and basically pressed with time. It's just annoying as all hell. I'm sorry. Soft Boys. This is what I got at Treehouse. This is DeLorean Records, Soft 1PA, pink vinyl. 6 songs. These are from '77. And little write-ups of when the songs came out to help promote. It said play it loud, put up the treble, tape down your plates because it's going to shake. Pictures of the band here. Great album. I enjoyed this. Soft Boys fan, Robin Hitchcock. I've talked about this band, The Undertones. Positive Touch is their 3rd album. Fun album, great. I enjoy it. Glad I got this. I haven't found this over here on the East Coast. That's why I picked it up. And I don't never seen that Soft Boys. Okay, this next album. I asked Dan, who worked at the store. I said, I want to leave Minneapolis with an album that I could say this is part of Minneapolis. He showed me a few things, played something. I said, no. Then he says, I got it. He pulled out this album, Distortions from The Litter. I know some of your site guys know about this. I never knew, and I'm so glad he turned me onto this. Dan, great job. This is a great album. The hit was Action Woman, but the album, the record, the recording is just great. Album real thick, and this is Minneapolis. It says Warwick Productions, Minneapolis. So the band was from the 60s. They disbanded, I think, after 3 albums. They did resurge later on. This is also in Nuggets, their songs, and just great Minneapolis sound. I was so stoked to hear that.
Call you. I said I know what to call you, woman. I don't know what to call you. I know what to call you, baby. Sometimes I said sometimes I wish you'd never been born.
Right. The other store, punk, heavy metal store, and I didn't have much time, unfortunately, and I had to go real quick. So I asked the lady in the back, what do you got here? What can you show me? I'm just so interested in some type of punk, garage rock, whatever. She goes, oh, these just came in. And it is Back from the Grave. And I think some of you know this. This is a label by Crypt, and they're from Germany, and it was an American guy who created these albums. So it's been about 10 years, and maybe 15 years, I guess, since the last set came out. So this is volume 9 and 10. It's a gatefold, which the other ones aren't. So when I pulled these out, there was a guy whose ears just stood up and turned around, and he was from Canada. I want to say Saskatchewan. I don't know. He was up in the boondocks somewhere, he told me, but he says he just loves psych rock, and he says, I gotta get this. So I jumped at it, and these were about $22, but I never saw these. So Back from the Grave, these are bands, American bands from 64 to 67. You can't find these singles around. They're real scarce. So that's what he put this together, this compilation. So here is some sound.
I love you, and it's a crying shame.
this album. Sort of like Nuggets, the same layout, history, and information. This is volume 9. Here is volume 10. I don't care for these pictures, this B-movie, whatever you want to call it. I wish it was something else, but hey, it is what it is. But some of these bands are just so cool, and the history about them are really, really cool.
I can't complain. You make me fine. I know you're mine. I'm a wild angel. When I'm with you, I can't feel no pain. I love you, I don't have your name. I want you fine and I want you. If you love me, oh, you're this awesome. It's a sunny day.
So those were my finds, and that's about it. I'll talk to you soon. Keep your vids coming, and have fun. Bye-bye.